What's way more dangerous than most people think? Towing a stuck car with a chain. There is a list of people who have died from having the chain come through the back window and kill them. If there's one thing I'll always stress, it's a real tow rope. Endless uses, not that expensive, you'll probably only ever need to buy one, they won't smash your skull in if they break. And put some weight in the middle, a simple jacket will do. That way, in case the rope does snap, shit can still happen, the small weight gives just enough momentum to send the energy down, so it will hit the ground or your legs. Your legs will still shatter, but way better than your ribcage or your face. Being in the water near dams. Going over a dam whether you are in a boat, a tube, or body surfing. Even low 3-foot dams can cause issues. Dams in the U.S. have been built straight across the water. When the water flows over a dam, it is immediately pushed to the bottom of the riverbed. The water going deep has now created a hole where there should be water near the top. So water that was downstream comes rushing back upstream to the dam. If you go over the dam, you will sink to the bottom, surface, and the get pushed back towards where the water is falling over the dam again. That water pushes you under again, you float downstream a tiny bit, and the once again get sucked back toward the dam to get pushed under again. This can happen even if you are in a sealed kayak or wearing a PFD. The best way to get out if you are cycling through like that is to curl up into a ball and try to get as low down in the water as possible. There is a chance you may float far enough underwater to break free if the cycle. And remember, if you are playing below a dam that the water will be rushing from downstream back up toward the dam, remember that cycle of downstream water filling in when the water flowing over the dam goes deep. Well, you can start below the dam, end up in the water that is going back upstream, and get sucked into that same cycle. So, be aware of dams. Don't kayak over them. Be careful if you are below one. The ocean, both for swimming, surfing, etc. and for boating. It is 100% not just a big swimming pool or lake. Human beings are in a completely alien environment as soon as they step off the sand or dock, and our perceptions about how things ought to play out no longer matter. The ocean is completely indifferent to human reasoning and even to human mortality. I'm teaching a good friend to sail right now, and he's naively ambitious as far as sailing long distances in a very small boat. I wasn't joking at all when I chided him by saying, "You haven't been scared enough times yet." The reason I'm so conservative in and around the ocean is because I've developed a healthy, totally reasonable fear of it over the course of my life. Anybody who isn't a little afraid of the ocean hasn't spent enough time around it. Source: Tug Captain, lifelong surfer, and lifelong recreational sailor. Please, if you're going out on a boat, make sure you at least have a first aid kit, a fire extinguisher, a working knowledge of how to call for help on a VHF radio, an anchor to stop you from drifting into rocks if the engine fails, and PFDs for everyone. Situations you've never even imagined can arise so quickly on even a short outing. The last time I was in Yellowstone, I watched a group of women walk through a herd of elk to stay on the trail, rather than walk around them, which was an easy detour. One of them simply turned his neck and bit one of them on the shoulder. Not the most serious wound, but it ended her day. Respect wildlife. Walking downstairs with your hands in your pockets. Never ever do it, especially not drunk. A fall down even 1 or 2 stairs with no hands to catch you can break your neck. I've seen a video of a man tripping and falling down 4 stairs, hitting the top of his head on the wall and dying right there in the stairwell. Moose. Bigger threat to people up here than bears. Edit, clarification by up here I mean Canada. Another clarification: we have a lot of moose and not a lot of grizzly bears. The more common bears, black bears, while still shouldn't be provoked, are a lot smaller and more timid than grizzlies. Not to mention everyone knows to be afraid of bears. They're large carnivores. Most people don't know to be afraid of moose. Hitting a moose with your car is pretty well a guaranteed fatality, but it's also highly underestimated how dangerous these things can be on their own. They can be around the same height as a transport truck and have a nasty temper if you decide to bug one. Anything under tension can be dangerous. Guitar strings hold around 200 pounds of tension. A game of tug-of-war can put thousands of pounds of tension into a rope. It's even been known to kill people. Here's a list: https://priceonomics.com/a-history-of-tug-of-war-fatalities/. True story. As a 14-year-old, I played a game of tug-of-war with a large number of people, and the rope snapped and whipped back and hit me, leaving me with 3 fractures in my hands. 3 surgeries and lots of PT later. I'm happy to report no nerve damage, but I'm never playing that game again. Having a false penicillin allergy on your healthcare profile. If you are unsure, please ask. 10% of people report a penicillin allergy, but 1% of those people actually have one. Having a penicillin allergy takes away a huge class of really good antibiotics that can save you during infections. When you report an allergy, doctors, hospitals have to prescribe you oftentimes other antibiotics that don't work as well, and/or are unnecessarily powerful, kill many bacteria that do not need to be killed. This has been shown to have more antibiotic-induced diarrhea, less infection control, more C. difficile, deadly diarrhea, more antibiotic resistance, and higher overall mortality. Please ask your healthcare provider if you are unsure. You can always Google allergy symptoms. Rash, throat swelling, etc. There is also a way to test if you are allergic as well. Please consider a lot of household chemicals. Mix the wrong stuff and it's game over or seriously hurt. Being knocked unconscious. Lots of popular media makes it seem like a minor thing that an average person can shrug off after a short period. In reality, if you are ever knocked out, then you have suffered brain damage. It's possible there might not be any lasting effects, but it's a serious injury and you 100% need to see a doctor if it ever happens to you. Just being knocked in the head in general. People are so cavalier in fights. I think that movies have people being hit with the butt of a gun, a shovel, and being okay. I'm not a doctor or nurse, but I'm pretty sure simple bumps and knocks can have potential damage. The human being is fragile as fuck. Edit, my last statement is merely hyperbole. I'm well aware of how resilient the human body is. Water currents. Rip tides in the ocean and eddy currents in streams. We have some river canyons with signs describing all of the ways you can die in the river, and people still die swimming there. Hypothermia, if your clothes get soaked and you can't dry out and warm up, temps in the 50s F13C can kill you. This is how people going on day hikes get killed. Something happens and they can't get back to their car, lodge. The weather changes and they can't find shelter and they get wet. They die of exposure. My scoutmaster taught us boys the hard way by teaching us the importance of planning. He made us traverse a stream, and while our packs didn't get wet because we were carrying them above our heads, we did get soaked up to about our chest in cool water. The temperature was around 55 F that day, which is not that cold and kinda nice. After we got to the other side, you would not believe how quickly we got cold, especially if there is no cover from the wind, and within a few minutes, our hands became useless and we couldn't start a fire. The shivering got so bad, it was incapacitating. The cold set in fast. We learned that day that we needed to make sure our clothes remained dry, even if that means stripping down butt naked to cross the stream, and that we needed to have fire already made and a smoldering ember ready to go along with tinder so that we could get a fire going quickly, that is if we didn't have matches or a fire steel. So he taught us that we should cross the stream, put our dry clothes back on, start a fire to warm up and dry out, and immediately start working on shelter. Hard lessons don't leave you, even after 30 years. Edit, for clarity. Coconuts. Coconuts kill 300 times more people a year than sharks since only 16 attacks occur per year and 1 death every 2 years while coconuts kill 150 a year from falling from trees. Newts. Many newts, such as the rough-skinned newt, produce a toxin that is 10 times more potent than cyanide. They are only dangerous if you handle them and then don't wash your hands afterwards, or if you eat the newt. There have been multiple reports over the years of someone eating a newt as part of a hazing ritual for a college fraternity, and then dying. The toxin that some newts produce can kill you inside of 15 minutes because the toxins block the sodium receptors in your nerves, essentially stopping your brain from communicating with your heart. Scary stuff. TLDR, if you handle a newt, wash your hands. And never put a newt in your mouth or you will die. Edit, did not think this would blow up this much. Thank you to the Redditors that provided so much information about tetrodotoxin. To see it in action, check out this video from Nat Geo. https://udo.be/kb5wv8-qg. Not getting regular checkups. I almost died because I had an internal hemorrhage that was slowly killing me. I was so depleted of iron and blood that the nurses thought my vitals were written in wrong because I should have been dead. I needed 3 pints of blood in one sitting. Not going to the doctor when something is wrong. You aren't macho for not going, it doesn't make you more of a man. It makes you an idiot. If you live in America and don't have insurance, I am not talking about you. We all know these people though, I'm not going to no damn doctor. I'm fine. I knew guy who hadn't been to the doctor in 30 years. 30 years. Always bragged about it, never sick, blah blah blah. One day he goes to the doctor because he loses a shit ton of weight for no reason in the span of a month. Turns out he has so much cancer in his fucking body that he's a walking miracle. Stomach, colon, lung, and it was in his lymph node. Doctors gave him a prognosis of like 4 months with aggressive treatment. He forgoes the treatment and died in a month. Go to the fucking doctor. Your best chance against cancer is early detection. Hell, that's with everything. If you wait too long it might be too late to do anything. Sticking your finger up a pit bull's ass. There is a myth that if you stick your finger up there, the dog would let go if it was biting you. Don't do this, as all it would is make the dog madder. Not a pit bull, but I actually done this to a Staffordshire Bull Terrier when I was in a pub. The Staffy had locked onto this other dog and no one was doing jack shit, so I thought I would be a hero and finger its ass. Sadly it did not work and I got my finger covered in dog shit and a reputation as a dog molester. Eating raw cashews. What? Cashews can be raw? Explain please? Or are you making a joke? Nope, they are toxic when ingested. All cashews we eat from stores are roasted or steamed first. Oh wow. Didn't know that. I've also heard that there's a type of almond that can be poisonous if eaten. Is that true? You're correct. Bitter almonds contain a substance that basically turns into hydrogen cyanide when ingested. Doing nothing for a long period of time. It gets addictive and it's the hardest thing ever to get back on your feet. Can confirm. Currently sat outside my work on first day back, and damn, it was hard to get up at 6 this morning after doing nothing throughout lockdown. Don't fucking call me out like that, Jesus, it hurts. Living alone. If you get seriously injured or ill at home and you're unable to reach a phone, your chances of survival are much lower than if you have at least one other person in the household. Had an older employee who lived with her son. She didn't turn up for work. Very common to no-show, no-call at our workplace, just not for her. I had a weird feeling after she wasn't picking up when I called. Waited a few hours and decided to go knock on her door. No answer, but her car was there. I phoned the non-emergency police line and they showed up and broke in. She was found in her bedroom on the floor, completely out of it, and turns out she had a very bad case of meningitis. She was admitted to the hospital for a month, and they told her if she had been found by her son by the time he returned home from work, 4 hours after we found her, she most likely would have been dead. Trust your weird, gut feelings. Edit, what the heck, thanks to the kind souls for the awards, gold. It's super appreciated. Blocking your nose when you sneeze. Though it's rare, you can damage blood vessels in your eyes and nose, you can rupture your eardrum, and you can even have an aneurysm. Deep cuts on your fingertips. They're called felons and can infect your bloodstream. Clean them out, and if you see a red line traveling up your arm, get yourself to the ER immediately. My neighbor almost died from this when she cut her finger on her violin string. Edit, removed my advice about changing tires. My main point was don't go under your car if the tire's off without a jack stand, but that should be obvious. One thing people don't really think about as dangerous is fishing. When I was younger, I remember that my dad's friend took me fishing with his son. I remember that my dad's friend's son tried to hook a piece of bait to the end of the string. But he never realized that the hook was sharp, so when he put it on, he got the hook through his finger and it came out the other side of his finger. It is clear as day, and I think I was traumatized from it. I am only 19 and it happened when I was 7. Sorry for the long post, by the way. Frying food. A friend came over, and me and my roommates made dinner. Her buffalo chicken and, for me, the vegetarian buffalo cauliflower. We pretty much just dropped the chicken and cauliflower in big ol' pots of oil. It was fun and delicious. The friend that come over happens to work in a restaurant, and she told the head chef there about what an amazing day she'd had, making buffalo chicken and cauliflower with us. Well, he flipped out, saying frying food without the proper equipment, thermometer, vat, etc. is super dangerous. We could have easily set the house on fire. Admittedly, when our friend told us this, me and my roommates kinda just shrugged our shoulders. Since, we've made fried ice cream, tostones, yucas fritas, and sweet potato fries, and the house hasn't burnt down yet. It's still dangerous though, we're just reckless. Fucking with any animal. A squirrel cannon will fuck you up. Edit, you furries are fucked. Crossing train tracks when a train is coming. People do it every day, so clearly don't realize how dangerous it is, until they are hit by the train and are killed. This is one of those things you wouldn't expect on this list, but if people realized how dangerous it actually was, people wouldn't tempt their fate each day to save a few minutes. Driving tired, sleepy. This is a good one. I almost got plowed to death by an SUV once because a lady fell asleep while driving with her 2 small children, took out a sign, and came at me on the sidewalk. I had to action dodge behind a tree. She and the kids were all okay, just really shaken up, and I called them an ambulance and hung out until paramedics came to check on everyone. I was pretty shaken up about it myself, really. You don't expect that. Especially in the middle of the day. Don't drive tired, kids. Lost memories. Forgetfulness in general, really. You might think that, even with some lapses or a somewhat bad memory, you're fine. After all, it's just small stuff, anyone can remind you of it. That's how you get careless, and the chance of it being an issue becomes just another lost thought, adrift without ever crossing your mind again. You see, it might appear to be small stuff only, but here's a little spoiler: forgetfulness is anything but picky. Since losing apparently worthless stuff isn't something you keep in mind, the very issue will stay beneath suspicion. Now all that needs to happen is for you to forget about someone or something you cannot afford to, and by the time you become aware that you did, well, shit has well and truly hit the fan and dried up on the walls. Good luck ever fixing that. And good luck getting to trust your own memory again. Hippos kill more people than lions do. Oh, absolutely. I didn't know this information until I went to Africa last year. Hippos would come to our resort at night to graze the grass. They were super close to our hotel doors. We tread carefully and only went past them when their backs were turned or they were far away enough that we could safely enter the room. Eating a lot of spinach. Believe it or not, people have had kidney failure from 3 spinach smoothies in a day. This is due to the high levels of oxalic acid. You heard it on herddit.radio. Thank you for listening and we hope to see you next time.